Цена посчитать потери. Суммы нули погибают на сцене. Снова один, прогуляюсь без тени. Заливаю лик, поцелуй на шее. Карты дома, правый назад, черный каскад. Вижу твой взгляд, степ многояд. Мог тебя взять, но ты не моя. Так ради цена посчитать потери. Суммы нули погибают на сцене. Снова один, прогуляюсь без тени. Заливаю лик, поцелуй на шее. Карты дома, правда назад, черный каскад. Вижу твой взгляд, степ многояд. Мог тебя взять, но ты не моя.
And we're live!
We're live, and we're recording, and it's lean all day. Sorry, Juice WRLD. Rip.
And we're live. Now, John, don't you just love that intro? Because it literally ends with the guy saying we're live. I thought that was apropos, don't you?
It's kind of grown on me, I have to admit.
It does grow on you. But I don't want to waste too much time because we do have, stuff to talk about. And our first topic we're going to get into is going to be talking about Avatar, which I know you're just dying to talk about this because the sequel just got unveiled. Let me bring this up real quick. Boom.
I have to admit, it kind of has sparked my interest in the game more.
Oh, you're talking about
forgot about that. Yeah.
The Frontiers of Pandora.
I completely forgot that was a thing. And I also kind of forgot that I have a Series S now. I was like, oh, shit, I can play it again. I remember I could play it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm only worried because it is Ubisoft that's making the Avatar game.
Yeah.
It's like, even if the game looks good, it's like, will it be good? That's
right.
Two totally different
honestly,
things entirely.
It's gonna be. I think it's going to be Far Cry with Pandora skinned all over it. But hey, that's just me. I could be wrong. Anyway.
So this article is one of many that is sort of looking toward the announcement of Avatar, The Way of Water, which I still say that The Way of the Water sounds better than The Way of Water. I think the extra "the" actually makes a difference, but it's still kind of a lame title, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I actually just would have liked them calling it Avatar 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, you know why he's doing it that way, right? Because like each
it's episodic. I know.
Yeah.
It's
you know what he should have done better, though.
You know what it would have been epic is if he called it Avatars.
Oh no.
Like Aliens, you know what I mean? Since he did Aliens. But no.
Do a Roman numeral.
Gosh, no. Let's not do it like Final Fantasy does the Roman numerals well enough. We don't need Avatar doing Roman numerals.
He's like, no,
too.
Spare me, please.
No, I mean, it's just, to me, like, there's some brands that can pull it off, like doing the Roman numeral. I like when Final Fantasy does it because I think their logo design's better. Avatar is more mystical, like, you know, sort of like almost the new logo kind of looks more tropical than the original did.
Yeah,
because the original
they did with the A too.
Yeah, it's got kind of more of like a mystical sort of tropical vibe to it. But anyway, basically one of the big parts of this article is talking about the 3D technology and going into James Cameron's, pushing for it and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. For one of the things that really stuck out to me is when people look back at Avatar 2009, I remember sitting on the couch, watching TV, seeing those TV spots. And just I remember one TV spot. I'm trying to recall it right. It's like right off the bat, like you hear Colonel Quaritch's voice. Welcome to Pandora.
Yeah, not in Kansas anymore.
And then how many times and how many TV spots did we hear Jake Sully go like outstanding? Like that's that one. When he's on the cliff, he's getting ready to go ride the I call them pterodactyls, even though that's not
Ikran.
Yeah, the bird things. I always forget their names, but
Ikran. They're called
Ikran. Okay, yeah. So when he's on the cliff, he says that line that James Cameron throws into like every other movie that he does, which is like just some character will blurt out outstanding.
I don't even remember that.
Well, anyway,
I remember in the movie, but not. No.
Yeah, it's in that scene, and in the Lita Battle Angel, it's in the one where Hugo says it. Yeah, he goes, outstanding, you know. But anyway, like this actually, this article complains about because I guess he's going to push for an accelerated frame rate with Avatar 2 as well. Like, you know, instead
it's
of
like
it
48
being
frames or something, which is pretty high for.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to be 48 like The Hobbit was, or if he's going to push for higher. I have no idea.
I hope for higher.
60 frames would be cool, but
right?
Everybody acted like it was an inconvenience watching The Hobbit: Unexpected Journey in 48 frames per second. And I remember watching it, and while it didn't add a ton to the experience, it didn't bother me either. Like, you know, it was just like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, it looks smoother than but it's funny in here that
even if it wasn't, I wouldn't even care. But
articles like this and other ones I've seen seem to kind of have this sentiment of negativity toward Avatar, like it's a given that even it's more inferred than it is explicitly stated in this article. But there was an inference of like this movie has a good chance, or at least it feels like it has a good chance of failing. You know what I mean? I see a lot of that sentiment, and I'm thinking to myself, well, given that there really is nothing else out there like Avatar, it really is its own animal. Even if people will come make all the comparisons they want to Dances with Wolves and John Carter. Right. I'm not talking about the movie John Carter. If anyone watching this is unaware, James Cameron more or less borrowed a lot of John Carter, Princess of Mars, the story, the old story, and used it to sort of influence his writing on Avatar. And, you know, people have compared it to Dances with Wolves because the Na'vi are basically like a native tribe that lives on Pandora, and he goes and becomes one of them the same way Kevin Costner becomes one of the Native Americans. I'm trying to remember what the name of their tribe is in
the first one.
In Dances with Wolves.
No.
Because in Avatar they're the Omaticaya, but I'm talking about I don't know if they're supposed to be Sioux Indians or what. I can't remember.
I don't remember. It's been too long.
Well, anyway, the Native American tribe that Kevin Costner is a part of in Dances with Wolves or whatever, the whole storyline thing, everybody is like, oh, it's just a ripoff of Dances with Wolves. It sure as heck doesn't feel like Dances with Wolves. I mean, there's
doesn't.
There's similar moments and similar beats because there's a similarity, but the similarity is more, I would say, is more there because of the fact it's pulled from John Carter. But, you know, people criticize Avatar 1 for that. They're like, oh, it's too much like the old John Carter story. It's too much like Dance with Wolves. And if it weren't for the 3D, nobody would care. I tend to disagree. There have been movies that now there's very few directors who actually go out there and use full-on 3D powered cameras to record a whole movie in a specific way so it renders, and when you view it in the theater,
it's expensive.
Yeah, it is. It is expensive, and it's a lot of extra work. But at the same time, there have been other big movies that have come out with similar 3D technology that James Cameron has used, and they've not. Even if people want to argue they're objectively better movies, they have not achieved the same success. I think it was a combination of and it's something I talked to you about in private a couple times, John, is there's a magic to the world of Pandora. It's like this, it's like going to an amusement park. It's like going to a theme park. It's like getting away for the weekend and going on vacation. You get to go see this. It's like going to see this wondrous world you've never been to before, and you enjoy visiting it. I think it really is escapism entertainment at its finest.
And you know what? To add on to that, we said about theme park, you know, for people that doubt that there's any excitement at all for this movie, I'll just put this out there that this movie has been trending for like 3 days straight. And on top of that, the Avatar ride itself, I think at Disney World or is it Universal or is it Disney? I think it's Disney.
Disney has you're talking about the Pandora, like little during the Islands of Adventure kind of thing?
Yeah, I think Challenger ST shared a screenshot or something of their. I guess it was the amount of people in line just waiting to go on it, and it's just maxed. People had like a 2-hour waiting period to get on the thing. So it's like the interest I think is still there, but I do kind of wonder just how many will show up. I don't know.
For me, I like to view it as Avatar was the sort of the cultural phenomenon of 2009, 2010. It was the thing that was going on, or as I like to always say, it was the cultural zeitgeist, if you will.
People pretend that it wasn't now because all these years later, and then I see people did make fun of it back then a little bit for the go, this is a Wolves Ferngully, lol. Like you heard that back then too, but not to the point you're here today. It's really like the vitriol is much stronger now. I think with all these years that have passed, and I don't think that's going to matter when it comes down to it. Because for one thing, this isn't. At least I don't see how it could be Dances with Wolves. I'm not saying I think that it is, but as far as the Dances with Wolves Ferngully comparisons, I'm pretty sure that's going to go out the window of this movie because from everything that I've heard, it's taking a very different direction from the last one.
Oh yeah, the last one.
People can say that in retrospect because the first movie had so many similarities, but people have no idea what this one's going to be about. We really don't know much about it at all, except it's about Jake's family. That's all we really know. Oh yeah, and the ocean. But apart from
it was a given that at some point Avatar would go to the ocean because James Cameron loves the ocean.
Oh yeah,
he absolutely loves the ocean. And again, if anybody wants to know how massively great, I know that's a really weird way to say it, but like amazingly spectacular James Cameron is with water movies, go watch The Abyss, not the original, the special edition. Watch the full movie. The full edition with all the extra scenes in there. And, going back to even way back then, his artistry of filming underwater sequences, there's only one other film that's even come close to having the same beautiful cinematography with water sequences. But the way in which it's done in The Abyss is more of a sci-fi approach. In the other movie, which what's it called? It's Paul Walker one, Into the Blue. Into the Blue, beautiful cinematography underwater, because most of the sequences underwater are filmed during daylight, so you get the sun coming down through the water and you can see underwater a lot better, whereas most of The Abyss it's deep in the ocean, so it would be filmed in a dark like water tank or stuff like that. But The Abyss is a beautiful movie. It's one of James Cameron's most underrated works. Obviously he's more popular
for it too.
oh yeah like the cast back then, the cast had to really suffer. They had to be underwater for a lot of time.
There was a lot of accidents too. It was
that to me proved that he can deliver an amazing film while doing groundbreaking cinematography with water in a way that, so a lot of the water sequences will have CGI enhancement, but I mean this is going to be real water, real actors in the water. It's not like when they do it, there was a technique they did for a few films in the early 2000s for underwater sequences where they would film them in a green screen thing, and they basically would act as if they were underwater. They would hold their breath and they would do like certain movements to make it look like the water was hitting them. And they do special effects on their hair to make it look like the hair was floating in the water. That kind of stuff is, to some extent, I think it's used for certain shots within, I want to say even some of the Aquaman stuff. Some of that's done that way. Not all of it's done.
Aquaman, I'm not too. I know that people keep bringing up Aquaman. When does Aquaman 2 come out? I think
it comes out, I think, March next year.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was releasing around the same time. Never mind. A lot of folk are pitting Avatar 2 and Aquaman.
No, Shazam's the one that's coming out next to Avatar 2. It's coming out like 3 or 4 days after Avatar, The Way of Water.
I know people are like wanting somehow to compare the two for their water effects. It's like Aquaman doesn't.
We don't know what they're going to look like yet because we haven't seen the movie, so you can't really compare until now. If Avatar: Way of Water comes out, by the way, and it is the most mediocre thing ever, and it's in all of the because I'm assuming half this movie is going to be underwater.
Yeah, it is. A good chunk of it is.
So if half this film is underwater and it looks like garbage and it's mediocre, I'll probably be the first one in being like, well, that was a waste of time, you know?
Right.
Like
I hope
mean,
that's not what happens.
I have high
highly doubt
expectations for this, not because of the first film, but more because I've seen The Abyss. That's actually what's driving my excitement for this film, because I know James Cameron loves the ocean. Few people know this, but he actually went into he got into like a little submarine pod. I forget what the name of the
Mariana
little thing
Trench.
is. And he literally, as a solo diver, he went into this like little pod and dove down to the like deepest pit on Earth under the water, down in the Mariana Trench. I think the mission, I don't know if this was the name of the ship or the name of the mission, but it was called Challenger Deep.
Yeah.
And he's the only solo person to have done that far of a dive as a solo.
I could never.
I think they said he went 35,000 meters.
Whew.
That's 35,000 meters underwater.
That's deep.
That is really deep. So he loves the ocean. He has an affinity for it. So you know that there's going to be a lot of passion in this movie. And that's what I'm excited about. And I think what I see a lot of the negativity around it, it's people, I think people have a hard time believing in a way, you could argue that this is a comeback story, only because Cameron has been, for at least the last 6 or 7 years, people have been saying he can't do it again. You know, he can't do it again. You know,
Right.
He can't have the same success, and maybe he won't gross
Maybe not.
he might not gross $2.7 billion again, but you know, this film is not going to flop at the box office.
No, hell no.
If it does, then the American cinema at that point is dead.
I agree.
Like, I mean, if all you want is the same superhero movie regurgitated over and over and over again, and that's all cinema is for the rest of time, we're in real trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Entertainment wise, because the thing I've always enjoyed about Avatar is people are right. It's not the greatest story ever, but it's a fun story. It's a fun world.
Story.
It's a beautiful, imaginative adventure that you get to go on. And there's no other film or experience like it. It is wholly unique to itself. And so when I saw this article and I read it, you know, it's not that long a read if you want to check it out. It's from The Guardian. It's called, Is Anyone Excited About Avatar 2, or is James Cameron 3D Revolution doomed? And it's, you know, it's roughly, it's not that long. A few paragraphs. Well, more than a few, but relatively speaking, you get the idea. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to touch on Avatar real quick, and just because I with all the big hullabaloo about it, I was just like, oh, you know, I'll throw in my 2 cents.
Well, you know, I don't really understand, and maybe I'm not really sure where this comes from, but the thing that gets me about this article, particularly where it says, "Is anyone excited about Avatar 2 or is James Cameron's 3D Revolution doomed?" Look, I don't. Now, maybe he's trying to. Do I really think that he's trying to get everybody to jump on board the 3D train? Not really, actually, because we know damn well the only person who's actually going to do it and do it right is Cameron. At least, well, or Rodriguez, because he also did Alita.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez
phenomenal.
is big into 3D as well.
Yeah, so those two. But apart from that, I can't think of any others who really. I mean, I don't think they're looking to revolutionize anything in terms of that, because I'm pretty sure at this point he knows that no one else is going to bother. This is like his thing. I mean,
it's kind of like if you've ever watched interviews with a bunch of tech heads when they're talking about their for instance, talk about there's some people. I'm trying to remember whether this was in a written interview or a video interview. It feels like a video interview, but I remember watching somewhere some people were being interviewed talking about why. Companies like Microsoft obsess over, like, for instance, a product like the Xbox. Why do they obsess over? They have to have the best, video game console in the market. Why they have to have the most powerful or whatever. Why that's so important to them? Because at the end of the day, we've seen with the data, regardless of what social media will have you believe it or not, the power narrative really does not determine which console is most popular. It's pricing and the amount of games you get with that platform, right? So that's really the determination. So exclusives sway people way more than the power narrative does.
Yeah.
It's just that there's been a falsified importance of that because of the advent of 4K gaming, and people are like, they go overboard with all that. But to my point, Microsoft prides themselves in doing that because they're tech heads. To them, it's their passion to make products that they can make, that they feel that nobody else can meet their own standards that they have for themselves. So they pride themselves, even if it means taking a loss. And don't kid yourself, they're taking a loss on every single Xbox console that is sold. Same thing. I'm assuming Sony's the same way. They probably take a loss on their console too. They make money back through the software, because there's no way selling the Xbox Series X, or I don't know about the Series S, but Series X at $500 with the parts and components that are in there. There's no way they're making that for $500. That's got to be at least $100 to $200 more expensive, possibly more.
Right.
So they're losing money on everything that they sell.
Had quite a bit of success with the Series S, people largely because of the price. And
it's meant to be an entry model that people who are casuals, they can come in, they can buy a console that's cheaper. Maybe they don't need a disc drive,
but they can also still play the next gen titles.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly, I was kind of on the fence about it because I, more or less got it for Dying Light and Hunt, but Dying Light especially because I was worried how the One X would handle it. And it's funny, I'm playing Dying Light 2 right now, but as we speak,
multitasking as ever,
right? Well, I kind of hate to staring at the computer, but instead I like to stare at the TV screen.
Well, you'll be staring at the computer shortly when we start playing the video.
Oh, I know, but I think I lost my train of thought. Shoot.
Series S.
Series S, yes. I think because of it's a good system. Yeah, there's some downsides to it, like anything else, but honestly, for $300, shit. I mean, I cannot complain at all. At first I sort of thought I regretted it because, like, especially on Hunt, the difference between the One X visuals and the Series S visuals are like night and day almost. I mean, it's still really good, but like I was like, whoa, especially the first time I saw it. What it looks like for you is more or less how it looked on the One X for me. And now it's like not even it's still good, but point is, even despite the lower resolution, you're getting quite a bit for what you're paying for. I mean, $300, and you can still play all the other titles as well. I mean, it really depends on what you're getting it for. I mean, would I have waited in retrospect? Maybe, but I'm kind of trailing. My brain's kind of trailing now. But
well, if you're wondering how the heck this relates to what I was saying about Avatar,
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm like bringing back to the point. The reason I brought up the thing, just like Microsoft makes a product because they have standards for themselves, they want to be able to say, we make this thing, we're proud of this thing. James Cameron is the exact same way. He does the 3D, he goes overboard on the visual effects and everything because to him, it's about, like, it's a personal pride factor about the passion he has for filmmaking. It's not just art, but he also views it as an industry where you have to develop new technology to push it forward. And he believes in really pushing the boundaries of not just visual effects, but also 3D technology and making movies a more immersive experience. That's just something he really gets into.
That's why I think he doesn't like this. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I was done. You can keep going.
So that's why I think while he's open to the streaming angle of things, I can probably guess that he's probably a little annoyed with how much that's like becoming the thing now. Because a lot of folk, I mean, there's still people that'll show up to big movies, but I feel like eventually theaters are kind of become just like that little novelty thing. I don't know.
Well,
it already kind of is, but
I know that at least one more film that I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there is a movie that his Lightstorm Entertainment has the rights to. It's a script that apparently he wants to do. I don't know if he personally will be shooting it or if he's going to get another director to come in and do it, but he said that after Avatar 2 and 3 are out the door, he will start working on that film next. Or at least
I thought he was retiring after Avatar, like after all the Avatars were made.
Again, this is in the middle of I think the idea is when he's done with Avatar, let's say they all are successful and he gets to make all 5. He's shot practically 4 of them already. But
Mhm.
let's say he gets to release all 5, right? At that point, 2028 comes around, Avatar 5 releases, he's done. But no, he said that there's a movie he's going to do that's a smaller scale thing in between Avatar 3 and 4. So in that 2-year
Wish you would
gap,
do Alita instead in between, but you know.
I think he's going to leave that to Rodriguez. So, but
Still.
going to the point, for a guy like Cameron, when he retires after Avatar, he's not going to care where the industry goes. He's done what he wants to do. He's made his peace. He's moved on, and he gets to live out the remainder of his days knowing that he fulfilled what he wanted to do. You know, and if cinema goes full streaming, I hope it doesn't, because there's some drawbacks to streaming in terms of quality that we've seen from certain things, and you know, sometimes you need a good old blockbuster to deliver certain quality touches that you want. But enough about Cameron and Avatar. Let's talk a little bit about Netflix, since we're on the subject of streaming anyway.
Yes.
So this is kind of interesting, because we're going to talk simultaneously about Arcane and a little bit about Netflix at the same time. And I realize it's technically I said the same thing twice because it's simultaneously and at the same time. But hey, you know, sometimes you can't check your grammar in the middle of a thought. But Arcane, if you've slept under a rock, is like one of the biggest breakout hits of last year. It was this thing. It's sort of like,
it came out of nowhere.
yeah, just boom out of nowhere. Like, you know, I remember seeing ads for it, but I never remember anybody talking about it until after it came out and everybody started watching it. And I was on my list of things to watch, and I didn't plan on watching it for another month, but I ended up watching it early because you, Mr. John, you bugged the daylights out of me, like, you gotta watch this, it's amazing. And so we watched it together, and I enjoyed a lot of it. It was really good. It was a beautiful piece of artwork in terms of just viewing an animated series as an artistic thing. But I don't know, for me, I kind of got the vibe that this was something that I don't even think Netflix really knew what they had on their hands when
they didn't.
And so it's interesting, as we're talking about, Arcane is riding this high right now. It's on a peak of popularity coming off that first season, with the hype train starting to slowly churn up as we get closer to, I believe next year they said was the tentative release date for season 2.
It's about a year and a half from now.
Yeah, so as we're building towards the release date for season 2, there's you know, hype going on in the background. But Netflix, the hype is going down for them because of a couple of decisions they've made.
I see where you're going with this.
And it's hilarious to me. I wanted to single out something though. So the idea is Netflix, apparently they're having a complete mental breakdown over there in their business headquarters, because they're whatever department's in control of, you know, doing projected growth. I can't remember off the top of my head what department that would fall under. I'd imagine it's some group of people that communicate, I'm assuming, with the marketing team and probably a strategy team and so forth or what on. But there's, you know, projected growth. Yeah. There's a lot of people probably involved, and they projected a growth of 2.5 million subscribers across 2022, or at least the first quarter of 2022. And somehow there needs to be a massive upheaval of Netflix and the way it works, because there was a loss. There was a loss in subscribers because they suspended the service in Russia. And now you see stuff like the animation department, you know, different things within Netflix and the structure of how they do things. They're doing budget cuts. They're probably canceling shows behind the scenes, things that were going to be developed. They're probably now getting the X'd, you know?
Yeah, Raising Dion got canceled.
Axed, I should say, not X'd, axed. And now I wanted to point to this. So to me, you look at a show like Arcane, right? Again, this is, we already know, completely unaffected by this particular crisis that Netflix is
God.
having right now. However, content like this is what draws people to Netflix. It's these kind of one of a kind shows that really stand out and bring people to the platform and keep people there. I mean, in my opinion, one of Netflix's biggest gets in the last 2 years was getting Cobra Kai when YouTube basically shut down their own like streaming thing or whatever.
Yeah, it was like YouTube Red. I forgot about that.
It was I think it was either YouTube Premium or YouTube Red or something. I think it was YouTube Red. I think you're right. They basically shut that down. But Cobra Kai was the best thing that ever came out of that YouTube thing. And out of it, Netflix saw an opportunity to take a show that was just rising in popularity. They snatched it up, got the rights to it. I mean, Sony still retains home media rights, so it's one of the few shows where you can still buy physical, home media on DVD box sets or whatever of each season as they release. But nevertheless, Netflix has that, so they've got great shows on there. The Witcher's fantastic show. My opinion, at least. I know that there's some
there with you.
Yeah, I know there's some people that will fight me on that, given how apparently people really got offended with season 2. I actually
a lot of the book people got offended with it.
I thought season 2 was way better than season 1, but
I agree.
Just my own opinion. Anyway, so you got these amazing shows on there, and of course you got the back catalog of other popular shows that they've had throughout the years. But they've also got a peripheral like catalog that's just full of a bunch of garbage filler shows. And I'm not going to specifically name shows here because I don't want to tick anybody off if I name a show that they really love, because I'm sure I would name something. But let's just say that they have a lot of extraneous shows that maybe for a single year to 2 years brought in a lot of viewership, but now nobody cares about them anymore. And even again, I won't name names, but I'm thinking of 2 specific shows off the top of my head. And these 2 shows were popular for a season or 2, but I think they ended up getting maybe 4. Well, okay. One was
or just regular.
I won't be specific because I don't want anybody to guess. Again, because I don't want to tick anyone off.
You're making me curious.
I'll tell you later,
Okay.
But I don't want anybody to be like,
I can take a guess.
You say you hate the show that I
love
or whatever.
One of those is.
And it's like I don't want to bother anybody with that. So nevertheless, there's 2 shows I can think off the top of my head that to me it's like they are not bringing in a ton of viewers. They're not really talked about that much anymore. Why would you devote any more time to shows like this? Like, these shows clearly bring in a minimum amount of people to your platform. Why not try to focus on something that is a little bit more instead of just and it'd be different if they had just one of these type of shows every couple of years. They say, okay, we've tested the waters with this, maybe you've got something similar to that. Let's bring out another show similar to this one that wasn't a huge hit but was moderately successful. Let's bring out another one of those.
Right.
But no, what they do is they greenlight 1, 2, 3 of them every year. And it's when you have budgets for all of these things that are not necessarily as successful as The Witcher, not as successful as Cobra Kai or Arcane or these other things. And I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't already know. I mean, this is just the way the film industry and TV industry work. But when you have too many of those peripherals, those extraneous shows, as I like to call them, those budgets that are not bringing in enough additional revenue start to eat away at your profits. And in this case, it's not just profit, but also subscriber growth, right?
They splurge on a lot of stuff. It's amazing to me that they're able to put out as much as they do. But so much of it
so that's because early on they racked up a lot of overhead debt that they have.
Sure. Now
remember, not all. I'm not going to get into financial stuff, but having debt is not necessarily always a horrific thing in the business world. You can there's clever ways of accumulating and then getting rid of debt. So, but I'm not going to get into all of the financial stuff because I don't feel like going back to business school on this one.
I'm good.
Arcane is a show that these are the types of ambitious sort of directions that, in my opinion, Netflix needs to take on more of these type of shows. Not necessarily, they don't have to be animated, but these really gutsy shows that try to do something very interesting and original. And
Right.
Arcane just to me was a really not just interesting, but a really enthralling experience that I can't get that experience with any other show.
I know,
Like,
and it's weird because some of the other stuff I've watched on Netflix, like I've liked, like Altered Carbon, which I've gotten into some arguments with people about that show. And I know we're not supposed to be naming show names, but here you know what? I'm just gonna do it.
You can name whatever you want. I'm the one I'm gonna watch what I say because I'm the channel that I don't want to tick people off.
I got you. I liked Altered Carbon, at least initially. Or at least, okay, let me put it this way. There's things about I like the darker cyberpunk angle of things, but there's so many weird. It is. There's a lot of really like raunchy. I mean, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. I've
seen the first season.
Okay, it's loaded. The second season's not as good, but they do some pretty interesting stuff in the second season. But that show even is one of these things where, yeah, it's good, but there's so many other things that they could be doing instead of. I can't remember if they're doing a third one or not. I thought they were, and it's almost like, why don't you just end this? Because this doesn't. Like I love the dark cyberpunk stuff, but at the same time,
I'm assuming if they're going to greenlight, assuming with Netflix nowadays, it's kind of hard to tell given some of their decisions, but you're assuming it's got a very high viewership.
I can't remember if it did or not, but
like look at the Adam Sandler movies. So they keep renewing Adam Sandler's contract with Netflix because his movies get massive viewership on their platform, right? So now Adam Sandler since I want to say, okay, let me see if I get this. I think 2015 might have been 2016, but pretty much since roughly 2015, all of Adam Sandler's new movies that his production company has made, Happy Madison, have been exclusive.
I forgot he had his own company.
Yeah, Happy Madison has been, Golf Club to the Screen, terrific. That's the opening intro to his company's logo for anybody that doesn't know.
So funny.
A dude on the golf course, golf club to the screen, cracks the screen. Dude says terrific. Anyway, so Happy Madison has an exclusivity contract with Netflix to where they make all of their movies. And there's only been like one or two movies that he's put out on Netflix that I didn't really enjoy. Like, like almost all of them I've like, oh wow, like I would rewatch this. This is a lot of fun. Yes, his movies are stupid, but they're funny.
I really liked Uncut Gems. I know some people did.
That one was done with a different company. That was not on Netflix.
Oh, it wasn't? I thought it was Netflix for some reason.
No.
Oh, well, shit.
he just acted in that one. That one was done by was that A24 that did that?
I don't remember. I thought Netflix did it for some reason.
No.
It's a weird movie and really kind of like I could do without some of the stuff that they threw in that one, but the slimy, sleazy. I forget. Is he like a pawn shop owner? I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, I think he owns a pawn shop.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge Adam Sandler fan, if I'm being completely honest. I always thought he was annoying, but that's just me.
Some people do. I love his stuff because he reuses all of his friends as supporting cast. So you start, it's almost like you're going to see a movie where you feel like you're part of the family, you're the audience member, and then that's the extended family because you recognize all the people and you love seeing them do all these stupid antics that frankly no one else in Hollywood really makes comedy movies the way Adam Sandler does. Like there's just a charm to them, even if they're completely bizarre, weird, and stupid. It doesn't matter if you love what the kind of simplicity in the humor. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's just people today would be like, oh, it's stupid. It's like
Austin. Would you be disappointed if you knew that I've never in my life watched Grown Ups?
No, I wouldn't be disappointed. I mean, there's a lot of people who haven't watched Grown Ups.
I've never seen
those two movies, Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2, are probably, I would venture to say, probably two of his most commercial, like more generic market acceptable movies, because a lot of his other comedies, like Ridiculous Six, which is a parody of
I
Magnificent
fucking
Seven,
love that movie.
that movie got a 0% approval rating from critics, right? Critics
What?
hate movies. He has, I think, 3 movies that have reviewed from critics at 0%. Like, everybody, if you're a critic, you generally hate Adam Sandler. I, on the other hand, love Ridiculous Six. It's just
That
bizarre and
movie
stupid
is
enough to make
so
me laugh all the
dumb,
way
but
through.
it's funny. That campfire scene. Of course, it also, I was kind of.
I love the baseball scene because, I know the jokes it makes about the creation of baseball. Basically, it was hilarious.
Yeah, I loved it. I had a lot of fun with it. And in fact, I messaged Bradley late, like I think later that night about it. I was like, "Yo, we need to watch this." And he was like, "Oh, I already seen that, man. I love that movie." I'm like, "Damn it," because I wanted to introduce him to it, but he's already seen it.
Well, it's so on the subject of Adam Sandler, so I don't get too far from the topic. We were talking about, renewing things and why things, Netflix will keep releasing content. So to even go on to more about Adam Sandler, he did a movie with Jennifer Aniston called Murder Mystery, right? And that one, huge success. It was a massively viewed film for their platform. So they greenlit a sequel that I don't know if it's coming out this year or next year, but it's it's on its way. And I think they're done filming it, but that just goes to show you again, like, there's plenty of content getting renewed at Netflix that is successful. I think that instead of trying to constantly create new shows, and I'll speak to this on a more specific level, instead of constantly trying to create a mountain of always having like new shows, like this is remember the level that they're at is they want something new releasing almost every week, basically.
Right.
And what if we just had a few good things every month, right? Instead of everything there, we have to have new content every week.
Well,
You could supplement that by doing what they're already doing. Just go and get international contracts with international TV and movies and stuff. They, believe it or not, they're developing a whole subculture of people who have discovered international films and TV shows they would never have known about before because they're on Netflix and they're there. I mean, as personally speaking, people, I don't care if people judge me for this. For the last 7 or so years, I got bored with a lot of different TV shows that were on just, the main channels, like TNT, whether it's, I don't know, is it Fox, CBS, ABC, TNT, stuff like that. A lot of these major networks that you've heard of before, a lot of their programming, some of it became really boring to me. So I started just looking to international TV to see if there was anything good out there. And I discovered a ton of good TV coming out of South Korea. I mean, they've got a monopoly on like just massive.
My mom watches
popular.
A lot of that stuff.
Yeah, they're really gaining massive popularity, and they got an industry that's just blowing up over there in terms of TV and film. And now the films they're doing are becoming more internationally known and stuff. So Netflix doesn't necessarily a lot of that content they can just almost get for finder's fees, if you want to call them that, right? Basically, they find this content, pay a little fee for it, and then they bring it over to the West, right? And I don't think they need to invest as much money as they're doing, especially on some of these other shows, like I said, that just don't really seem to have great return on investment. And I think they're just burning a little too much money in their pocket. But what doesn't help is when I get it, there's a whole, I'm not going to get into the political optics of this because I don't really want to go into a grim, dark area with this show.
Me neither.
But you can't expect to have a surplus of new subscribers when in the same quarter you're expecting the surplus, you cancel your service in Russia and lose hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
Right.
Don't act like this is this industry upheaving moment for your company. It's like you lost subscribers because you purposely lost them from you chose to close down that service. You lost the subscribers you have to expect you're going to have a net loss of subscribers for that quarter. Now, I predict probably by the end of the year, they'll probably have made back all of their losses and then some, just because it's Netflix and they always have something
They're not
coming.
going under. I know a lot of people are worried about that. I don't really.
This whole thing of like, Netflix making all these cuts, I think a lot of this is being done just to make shareholders look like they're doing something. I mean, make it look not like the shareholders are doing, but make it look like the company, in terms of the eyes of the shareholders, like the company's doing something, I guess is what I meant to say. Because at the end of the day, people care about their pocketbooks. They care about their money. The bottom line is the most important thing. So when it looks like something's threatening that, you have to have action taken, even if it's not even required.
Well, a lot of it's also like, I mean, if people don't like the, because I've seen a lot of people they just don't like the stuff that's on Netflix. It's that there's like nothing good, which I find plenty of interesting stuff to watch.
I think it's choice paralysis. It's where there's so much stuff, you kind of don't know what to choose, and it's also, I think it's a lot of the good stuff is buried under mountains of all these peripheral
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so. I mean, I always find something good to watch on Netflix.
Like Last Kingdom. I mean, I'd had it on my list forever, but my list is already so huge that I never figured I'd even get around to it. I mean, Penny Dreadful, that's another decent one. It's a little weird, but not for everyone, but I like it. It's actually kind of the approach that the binge people are going to be taking to Hunt Showdown, which is a huge relief because tonally that's pretty on point. But there's plenty of stuff on there. But I do think it would also help them if they would get rid of this whole release the whole season all at once bullshit. I don't know about you, but I've never liked that. I never ever liked that. I don't. Of course, they're not forcing me to watch it all at once. Obviously, that's completely up to the person. But if they wanted to maintain hype and just drag out the hype a little longer. I don't know if Arcane was the first to do this on Netflix. I kind of doubt it. Maybe not. But I really liked how they released those episodes for that show. Granted, I jumped in during the second week, so the first 6 are already available to me. But I kind of liked having to wait for that last batch. I thought it was kind of like, oh.
I'm kind of the opposite because I'm like I feel like with streaming we need to stop pretending like we're watching basic cable television where we have to. There's no point in waiting a week. All of the episodes are literally sitting on a shelf waiting to release. So
that's true.
The idea that it's like let people watch it on their own time. If they want to watch one a week, they can do that. And I think
I don't know. I just kind of liked the anticipation of the next batch comes out soon. And it's not like they dragged it out like one episode per weekend. I hated that. Breaking Bad did that. I think it was one episode every Sunday. And that I've never liked the way AMC releases stuff anyway. So, whoop-de-dur. But I don't know. I liked the little do it in batches thing. But that's just me. Not for everything. I don't think everything has to do that. But
I've got some news though. Before we get ready to segue from our Netflix discussion into our videos for the night, we have for anyone watching this now or on playback, because I think I'm going to leave this one up for a considerable amount of time, maybe permanently. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But for anybody watching this, I can't see comments when I'm looking at a share screen, right? So I have to stop sharing the screen, get done talking about what I'm talking about.
I could help with that.
Right. So I pulled up the list of comments here. So we've got 7 comments all from the same group.
Sage Water Dragon.
I want to go ahead and just read out what he's saying here. So let's see. He says, Avatar 2. Sequel title. Oh, I see what he's saying. Add the 2 to Avatar. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, should have been Avatar 2, The Way of Water, instead of Avatar, The Way of Water. And then he says Terminator 2, Judgment Day remains the, hardest sequel title of all time. That is a freaking good name for a sequel, and it proved to me why they never needed to make another sequel, because the sequel was the Judgment Day, the Day of Judgment,
Right.
the finale, as they
And then we never really did get a proper apocalypse movie, unless you count.
I like Salvation. That's all I'm going to say.
I did too. But I kind
Um,
of liked the approach that they gave in Kill Me, Dark Fate. And only thing I liked about that movie was Grace, and like the sheer brutality of that little sequence during the war. It's the only part of the movie I really liked at all. I think Salvation was PG-13 too, so maybe that's why it was.
Yeah, there's an unrated cut that makes it R, I believe, but there's
really?
they wanted to have the PG-13 cut, which I'll say this to anybody who wants to talk about, Terminator Salvation shouldn't have been PG-13. I only got to see it because it was PG-13. Okay? If they released that as an R, there would have been people like me that would not have been able to go to and as it was, the movie didn't make a butt ton of money. So I think it just doubled its budget basically. The dude Sagewater Dragon, who's leaving us all these kind comments, I think he probably had to tune out, unfortunately, at this part, because I don't think he's still watching. I don't know.
I completely forgot that I get zoned out. And
I can't see the screen, but anyway, so he's not only a Halo fan, or I don't know if he's saying this about me or if he's saying like myself, he is both a Halo fan, Final Fantasy fan, and he's also James Cameron Avatar fan. I don't know if he's saying that or if he's saying that about me, but it's true. I like all three, and if you like all three too, man,
Under the club.
Yeah, awesome. And he's like, bro, you're like if I made a YouTube channel. Yeah, my YouTube channel's weird because I'm a little weird myself, so I don't know. I just I like just being myself. It's fun.
Weird and strange is
but we got real weird stuff on the way. We got Cringe coming up here. So, John, as you know, when we get done with our topics and our discussion, I like to kind of do a finale to each live stream where we get to look and break down some absolute cringe.
Yes.
And I've got one video that's pure cringe and another video that's a little less cringy, but they're fun. They're going to be fun to break down. So here we go.
Cringe.
And we are sharing audio, just so you know. All right. So the first one is called Social Media Influencers Being Stupid for 6 minutes Straight. And literally, yeah,
Great.
Look at what I got to get this to come up. I just typed in cringe women, because I was trying to come up with keywords that would queue up certain videos because I was trying to find good ones to break down. And finally, it took me having to type in cringe and women next to each other in order
That's kind of sad, actually.
Yeah, I had to type in that before I got anything really good. But this is not just this is not sexist because this has also got men in it as well.
Yeah, I was saying it didn't sound good at all.
Yeah, this is not sexist.
No.
There's plenty of cringe to do with males in here as well. All right, so John knows me very well. He knows that I don't have any personal animosity toward anybody who's a social media influencer or an influencer in general. I just think that there's a lot of stupidity that revolves around being an influencer, where a lot of people, because of their follower count, because of their success, they act really weird. And you also find out that a lot of them seem to have issues with what I like to call basic intelligence. Now, I could be completely wrong, but this clip seems pretty there's some pretty messed up cringe in here in terms of just mental capacity. And I love clips like this, John. So here we go. This first thing is really just it's just an intro with some girl saying who she is or whatever, but there's parts in here that are better than others. Let's start breaking it down here. You ready, John?
Yes.
Known as Baby Ariel. I'm 16 years old and I'm a social media influencer. I make mistakes.
Okay, so she said she was 16 years old and she's a social media influencer. And I don't really have anything to say about this because there's plenty of people her age that are also getting into the social media influencing like trend or whatever. I don't really have anything against that. People want to do it, more power to them. Go live your life, go have your fun, do what you want to do if it makes you happy, but please don't overestimate, like, I'm not gonna finish that statement.
Yeah, let's not.
I'm not gonna finish that statement. But anyway, here we go. Let's continue.
And that's what this video is here to do, to address it, to say that I am sorry.
What?
I'm pausing on the kid. I'm actually trying to pause on this, but what's funny is she's trying to act sad here, and I say act because I don't see any tears.
That doesn't look upset at all.
I don't see tears. Do you see tears?
Well, I mean, Sam doesn't have to have tears to be upset, but that's a cry upset is what that sounds like. And she isn't.
It's I don't know. It's that's not that big a deal, but just that annoys me.
Something savage probably be like, Dr. Phil.
Oh, I understand the Dr. Phil thumbnail now.
All right, so this next one, the reason we have to sit through this kid, the 16-year-old punk, whoever he is, he could be a nice punk. I don't know. Anyway,
nice punk.
Anyway, listen to the dialogue and the audio of this next clip, John. This is where the cringe starts appearing.
Oh,
like, I don't think thoughts. I just feel things.
You feel things so hard.
I don't think anything ever. My brain.
You don't think anything ever? Okay.
We can tell. I love this.
I have to start losing it mentally a little bit when people say, I don't think anything ever. So you're a drone. You're a zombie here. So if a propagandist came up to you and gave you something to think about because you don't think about anything, does that mean you would just believe anything they told you? I'm not going to answer the question. I'm just posing it, and people can make up their own mind about that.
Lord.
Brain is just like.
Maybe that's why you can manifest things so fast.
It's my brain.
I'm so tired of hearing that word, man.
Manifest.
Like,
I don't have anything to
even
say
understand
other
what that
than
means.
This clip says it all.
Things so fast.
It's my brain is a childhood imagination. That's what.
My brain is a childhood imagination. Sounds like a hippie to me.
My brain literally is.
Oh no, look at her.
Gotta get that photo shoot in.
This is so weird.
Never, how like politicians, there's a joke about politicians, never waste a good news story.
Yeah.
Like always turn the news into like some kind of spin for your own political agenda. With influencers, it's never waste a good photo op. Like always, always get the photo op. Always get the photo op.
I'm like an Instagram influencer, so they sent me like the free shoes.
How do you become an Instagram influencer?
You just gotta like pull yourself out a little bit and travel and like live your best life and not care what people think.
Now, what do you influence people to do to you?
Probably come to like events like this and waste their money and like have a good time and
come to events like this and convince people to waste their money. I'm willing to bet that this whoever this is,
honest.
I could be completely wrong, but there are going to be people that are influencers like this person that are invited to these events, and their trip and fare and hotel is usually paid for by the event organizers, by maybe whether it's a fashion brand or a clothing brand or a perfume brand, whatever you want to call it, right? And these brands pay them money. That's the whole point of being an influencer is you get sponsorship deals where you become you endorse a product for X amount of money, right? You talk about a product, you drop links to a product or whatever. Do you really want to out in public on video where the company that again, whether or not she's being paid, I have no idea, but assuming under the situation that maybe she is one of the people getting paid, would you want to say that you're trying to get people to waste their money on a product that somebody is paying you to sell. You like waste their money. So are you admitting that the product's worthless?
More or less.
Like you can't even be an influencer, right? It's just marketing speak. You never say. So if you're trying to sell something, you're never ever going to mention something that could convince people that they're wasting their money on a product.
Oh my
To
God.
outright say it, that's suicide. Not real suicide, YouTube, and I'm talking about that's marketing and business suicide.
You said the word.
It's an expression, it's look it up, it's a real thing.
Financial suicide.
Do you think I now have to put in some kind of PSA at the beginning about like a link to like a suicide prevention website or something?
No, I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
You never know,
Be like, you better put that link in or we're gonna close down your channel.
Meantime.
Followers, we have a nice house, we have more money than some people, and like I've worked my ass off to get where I am today. Like I've been grinding since I was 12 years old.
I don't really think I have words for that one.
Shit.
I don't know if I have words for that one. This clip, wait, can you show somebody smoking in a video on a live stream?
I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask.
We're gonna skip this one. Hey, this is after he smokes.
We got glass blunts in the Doritos.
What the fuck? Wait.
The White House?
So the question, these are two influencers, I believe, and they're on this game show of some kind. I guess it's probably an internet thing where it's just a web series where they invite people to do some little like series of questions or whatever. And the question was, where does the U.S. president live? The dude says the White House, and the female just puts a question mark.
The correct answer is the White House, yes.
Look at this face. I don't know anything. I'm sorry.
You know what's weird to me? Like how so many, I don't know how old they are, but I'm going to guess probably, they look like teenagers. I'm going to guess teenagers. It's so strange to me how so many of these people are kids. I don't understand. Like how is it, I don't really understand what's so influential about these people. Maybe I'm being harsh.
There's a secret. Do you want me to tell you the secret, or are people going to be mad at me if I tell you this? It's more okay. There's a lot more fun and less work if you're an influencer. So I liken it to laziness, right? I don't want to actually work real jobs, right? And I know somebody out there is going to be like, "How dare you suggest it's not a real job?" Like it's like, okay, I'll say this. I'll liken it up to your some type of marketing free agent. There you go. That's as far as I'm willing to go with this. But no, like I said, I have no problem with people doing this, but don't act like if you are trying to become an influencer and you're trying to, make a living off of this, right? You rely on sponsorship deals, right? So one of the issues with this type of thing is, to some extent, obviously some people, because of how big their following is, there's going to be some leniency. There's going to be some preferential treatment to people on an upper status. But if you're on the lower end, you basically have to live a squeaky clean life, because if you get involved in scandals, all these sponsorship deals start like drying up, and suddenly like the bills start coming in and you got to pay them. And
that's the thing. Like if something goes wrong, of course, make your money how you want, I guess, but
do whatever you want. Do what makes you happy. Do whatever you want, but it's not really something that's sustainable. I'm just saying, like the whole influencer thing, it's a craze with younger people, and not all the time, John. There's plenty of other instances to prove me wrong on this, but I like to think that it also leans toward attractive people. Yeah. I think there's a pendulum that shifts slightly more toward attractive people are able to use their good looks in order to sell their brand or themselves. Practice that in the business world you just refer to as the art of personal selling.
If people have really taken that to heart, when they tell you in an interview, sell yourself, it's like, well, here you go.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people doing it. My only thing is, like, how do you not know? Then, like, you're gonna find anybody who will watch this channel. I guarantee you, over the course, if you stay a viewer longer than a year, you're gonna hear enough out of me to know that I am a big advocate for not just U.S. history but world history. I really believe in the importance of learning from the past, understanding history, and having a good knowledge of it. And so I always get a kick out of people missing, like, this is like freaking elementary school level questions. Like there are 5-year-olds on their tests that are getting this answer correct. Well, I'm assuming young and or possibly adults or young adults are, being like, oh, ha, 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 I didn't know it.
Why'd you put a question mark?
I don't think that fast, I promise you.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think that fast, I promise you. That's all it needs to be said.
Modeling bad behavior.
Hold on. We're gonna come back to the best part of this clip is later in the video. They actually go back to that same thing.
I'll be honest, though, I can't talk shit because on those, like, game shows, I probably would not do well on those because I process things, like, just differently than some folk do.
The only time I can actually toot my own horn here, because there's a lot of times on trivia stuff where I mess up, well, usually with, like, pop culture stuff or whatever. But one time we had, back when I was in college, we had a class where for extra credit, we had a Jeopardy game that we played that was based off the material from the class. And I was not the best student in the class by far, but because I actually try to remember as much stuff as possible, because I find that, I know they say memorization is not a big deal, but, in some ways it is. Because, yes, you may not always understand everything about it, but memorizing is the first step to understanding, because, like, once you have it in your mind, you can go and learn more about something. But if you don't even remember something exists, you're never going to be able to go and think about, oh, hey, I need to learn more about this. But anyway, so I memorized a bunch of stuff from that class, and we had a Jeopardy thing, and I actually won I got the highest score of anybody on the Jeopardy, and set a class record. So I'll toot my own horn in that one category because that was similar type thing. It's a little game show type event thing. Anyway, we got more of this video. Here, I think this is the same girl from before that was talking about manifestation. I could be wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
I believe that I couldn't do something.
You might be the best artist on this planet.
I know.
Straight up. Shout out Kanye and Picasso.
Do you see this? Do you see why I said earlier about the hippie thing?
A little bit. I mean, I don't have a problem with hippies, but depends on your definition of hippie. So,
well, okay. I think of hippie as going back to the kind of old school kind of terminology for it. You know what I mean?
My dad was a hippie.
Well, no offense, man. I'm just saying.
No, I ain't offended.
I'm just saying. Okay. Let's put it this way. Anybody can live however they want. I have no problem with it. I'm not here to judge or whatever. That's not my point. But when you talk and act like this, right, and you're someone who's also trying to be an influencer, I have a right to make fun of it because anybody can look at my life and make fun of whatever they want. I have no problem with that. Go ahead. But I will make fun of this when you're saying stuff like this. Like, I'm just sorry. Listen to this.
You might be the best artist on this planet.
I know.
Straight up. Shout out Kanye and Picasso and Steve Jobs.
Okay, sit here.
He said and Steve Jobs. Okay, unless my memory's failing me, Steve Jobs was never an artist, was he?
Not that I know.
Did Steve Jobs secretly paint? I don't know about it, but
no idea.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna ignore that. This is so much to this stuff is cringe, dude.
I love
Everything I do, and just hate.
Catch Me Outside. How about that?
No, not different girl.
I know, but
my pimp, Ashley, pimp daddy. I mean, I've just been going out for so long, so it's like
You're like sort of like the club guy.
like a socialite situation, going to events and like that's my vibe.
I can't even watch this clip, by the way. This next one, like I actually face palm in it. So
oh, that makes it good.
all right, John, get ready.
He's like, why you gotta do this?
Get ready. You're gonna wish you hadn't watched this.
All y'all grown-ass men hating on a 9-year-old. I ain't got no license, but I dropped 400 racks on this car, bitch. Y'all don't even have a car. I ain't got no license, but I be driving.
Do you really want to watch more of that?
That's enough.
I told you didn't believe me.
Nice car though. I guess.
Hold on a second.
What's wrong with his head? What's wrong with his forehead though? Like,
all right.
Sure. Hey, I really like your hair, by the way, too. Your hair is very, very lit.
Okay. Filming a twerking video. Because why not?
Badly. Like something bad's about to happen.
Explain to me why that's important. John, when I watch stuff like this, I lose hope for humanity.
Yeah. It's not really making my
I lose
better.
actual hope for humanity when I see stuff like this.
I would say is our actual job.
We are editors.
Brand ambassadors, but then in a way we're
Oh my god, they're twins.
We're like phone photographers. And then we're always wearing lots of different clothes, so we're not. I don't consider myself a model, but we are definitely. When you group all those things together, we're bloggers. We're bloggers.
We're bloggers.
You know, people can do this if they want, but like, I just sit back and I just wonder why. I don't get what's so appealing about this shit.
It's like so we take. They said phone photographers. I'm assuming that means they take pictures of phones that they like and they try to get people to buy them. They're brand ambassadors.
I thought it meant someone who just takes pictures with their phone. That's just me.
I don't like if you're a phone photographer, right? Like you said that there's only one other thing. Like either you are someone who you represent as an ambassador, if you want to call it that, of a company, you take pictures of products or whatever, or you use the product to take pictures and be like, hey, this new iPhone has an amazing camera on it. And we're going to show you how amazing it is by doing a whole photo album just with iPhone pictures, right?
Yeah.
Now, if a marketing team did that and they didn't use an influencer, I'd be more impressed. But, like when it's just people who are, it's like, okay, so you're making a photo album and you're using an iPhone. Does it make you a phone photographer? You're still just isn't that still just a photographer? Like, wouldn't that just still be a
photographer? I figured. I mean, I always wanted to get one of those little DJ.
Oh wait, I better retract that because there's probably a photographer fanatic that's like really passionate about special cameras and lenses and stuff, and if they see this video or they watch this thing, they'll be like, how dare you say what people are doing with those stupid digital cameras is the same as my art form.
I mean, I always wanted to get into using a drone to take photographs. I'd already be doing it if it wasn't so expensive.
I had a friend who did that. I had a friend who had a drone, and he would go around taking drone footage and stuff. I mean, people, hey, it's a good hobby. That everybody needs to have a hobby.
I already know which one I get too. It's the DJI Mini, or the SE actually. But anyway, that's kind of off topic. But
John just wants a paycheck for endorsing the product, basically.
No, really. Like there's been several instances where I've nearly pulled the trigger on it, but can't really justify that right now.
John, it's okay. You can admit you are now a social media influencer. You have influenced somebody random that just clicked on the stream to go buy that model and product of the drone camera thing.
Ugh.
On the other hand, I guess I have to like shoot myself down because I name dropped the iPhone. I don't actually have an iPhone, by the way, but
I don't either.
I name dropped it, so
I'm a broke man. I
I guess that makes me a shill now. Anyway, yeah. So let's continue with the video. All right. This clip, I don't really care. I think it's back at that house with those people, those influencer people. I don't know their names. Okay, I don't know any of these influencers. I don't know who these people are. It's the clip after this one. It goes back to those two people playing the like little game show on the Awesomeness TV thing.
Sheila is so cute. Her kids love me.
All this stuff. In the U.S.
Okay, I want you to read the question. If you guys can't read it, it says, what is the only U.S. state that starts with the letter P? So the answer is Pennsylvania. Let's see what they put.
State that starts with the letter P.
I don't know how to spell the whole thing.
You're both wrong.
Bruh.
Look at this look. Look at this look right here.
Look at his look.
It's like, what? What are you talking about? Philadelphia starts with a P, dude. Now hold on. I'll go back to my follow-up point in a second. I want you to listen to what she has to say.
But you're both right in a way. Philadelphia is not a state; it's a city in Pennsylvania.
Look at that look. Again, another look. Another look. Look at that.
She's like,
tell me the pain that's internal the internal pain in her head. And then she admits even more pain. Like, it's bad enough that you didn't know the Pennsylvania thing, but wait till what she admits to saying in this next thing.
Pennsylvania. Did you put Philadelphia too?
But Philly, I didn't even know how to spell it.
I didn't know how to spell it.
I mean, I don't think I could have spelled Philadelphia off the top of my head either, but
I'm just saying. Oh,
I've sold myself short. I don't care.
John, my head hurts watching this.
I love how she's just like grinning through the whole thing, though.
I can't get over that. I'm gonna make a meme out of this face. I will find some use for it. John, when you get a chance on playback, go back and look at the thumbnail I put on the video.
I saw that it was Dr. Phil.
Oh,
Philadelphia.
The rage fill that I created, where it's good. You're gonna see where that came from because it actually came from this video. It's out of the next clip. So here we go.
Pennsylvania. Did you put Philadelphia too?
But Philly, I didn't even know how to spell it.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Can anyone tell me like what I would talk to my mom about if she's not going to be making me relevant?
Yeah, like, hi, Mom.
Now I have a career and I'm famous. Like, that's what happens when you get famous. You cut people off.
That's the face that I used as the thumbnail image and stuff.
Confusion on this man's face.
He's like, so basically, the guy in the context of this clip, again, there might be more context to it that I'm not aware of, but in the context of this clip, we've got some kind of social media influencer, I'm assuming because he's included in this clip about social media influencers. And he is saying that he doesn't want to have any contact with his mom because his mom is not going to help him further his career.
Damn.
And listen, you think I'm lying? Go back and listen to this thing. Hold on.
No, I believe you. I heard him.
Let's do the instant replay. Do you want me to do it slow-mo style?
No.
Oh, she's not going to be making me relevant.
Yeah, like, hi, Mom.
Now I have a career and I'm famous. Like, that's what happens when you get famous. You cut people off.
Jesus, we are so.
What is wrong with you?
The look of just utter confusion and some, like, just a sliver of despair.
This is the look inside my soul as I've been watching this video.
That's the look I've had on my face for the past 2 years, but I won't say any more about that.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
The human race is doomed, John. We are freaking doomed.
We have lost the game. You ever play this game back in middle school where, like, if you mention the game, you think about the game, you speak about the game, you've lost the game? No. Okay. Well, we have utterly lost the game. I'm sorry. I guess you're not familiar.
No, I don't know anything about that. No, I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm gonna let you roll on that point if you want to make a point about it.
No. The only thing that's going to be rolling is neck rolls. So let's just keep on going.
Let's put it this way. This look right here explains that things going on with society right now, not good.
Not good.
Not good. All right. Okay. So this next one, it's slightly more. Okay, it's not a palate cleanser, but it's slightly less cringy than this one is.
It's just the look of a man who has just lost faith in just about everything.
So occasionally I will check out some of these Jubilee videos just so I can see like how cringe they can get, because some of them get really cringe. Some of them are not too bad. I want to say this is the same company who the videos that they put out. I want to say that PewDiePie will sometimes watch these videos for content on his channel. I don't know if he still does it, but I remember him doing at least 1 or 2 videos, and I remember saying like, "Oh, he watched some of the Jubilee videos."
Not a fan.
Well, anyway, so I just remember the video coming on my feed, and I'd be like, "Oh, what's PewDiePie talking about today?" Because when I first heard of him, off topic, I just remember him streaming video games all the time. And suddenly, like one day, he's not doing games hardly at all anymore. He's just doing other stuff. So that's all I really know to the extent.
I've never liked him, if I'm being completely honest.
That's okay. I'm sure there's a lot of people that share your opinion. There's also a lot of people that would be like, "How dare you?" You know,
right?
How
I know
dare
he's like
you?
one of the big dudes of YouTube, like, who basically turned YouTube into what it. Well, I wouldn't say what it is, but what it became.
He's the big time success story from the old days.
Oh yeah, easily.
All right, so they explain the whole thing for you, so I don't have to explain this video. It's self-explanatory, but there's a few moments in here that I kind of I wanted to touch on.
Oh my god.
Hi. Hi.
I actually meant to stop it on the girls. Give me a second. There we go.
Please do.
All right. So first off, John, just okay. I want you I'm not doing this as a whole, like as a man, we rate women thing. That's not what this is about. I'm talking about in terms of dress code here. I was like, so if you're looking at this, who do you think is, there's no real true answer to this. It's up to preference. I just have my own interpretations. I think some people are underdressed, other people are overdressed. In your opinion, like if you had it, because this is just a thing. It's not like you're going on like a formal date or anything. It's just, do you think people are overdressed or underdressed in your opinion?
I mean, there's a few, but I'll be honest, the two that caught my eye the most is that little Asian girl right in the middle wearing like the suit, and the girl behind her. I can't quite tell what she actually is wearing, but
what, her or her?
On the right.
So dark, the dark-haired, the brunette.
Yeah. I think she's wearing jeans and
like the ripped jeans. It's almost like they have identical pairs. Like the one in the front left here
maybe
is the ripped jeans.
The holes in the knees is kind of like a thing, so you know.
All right. Anyway, I just wanted to point out. I just thought it was there's a massive disparity here, because usually I don't know. I've seen a couple of their videos, and sometimes it feels like everybody shows up wearing something of a similar level of fashion. But here it's like you got someone here who's just wearing, you know, the skinny short things with the t-shirt, and then you got someone who's like dressed up like they're, well, I mean, I guess that's technically like a bra underneath. So I guess I don't know if that's a tank top or if it's a bra or
it's
whatever.
too blurry. I can't.
Assuming that's a tank top, she's wearing like business, what looks to be like, I guess, business casual with a tank top underneath or something like that.
I think that's a bit much for like.
But anyway, let's continue with the video. This is not that important. I just was curious what your take on that was.
Hi, I'm Mars, 23. I'm from New York. You guys all are beautiful, by the way.
So if you...
By the way, that is the correct answer to any time you walk into a room full of girls and you're asked to address them. You know, the obviously the only correct answer is to say that they're all beautiful, so that they don't immediately hate you.
would swipe right on ours, you're gonna stay. If you would swipe left, as in no, exit the stage, come take a seat.
This is interesting.
This is the nicest thing that's ever happened to me.
Damn.
Okay. Well, I understand what his answer is. If that's the nicest thing that's happened to you, I want to say, have you lived a pretty sad life?
Yeah, you know what? A part of me was kind of just like, it's kind of sweet, but it's also kind of like, damn. You know.
Well, there might also be a thing where they want to
Oh,
see what happens further into the game, so they're not going to immediately like leave. Like they might be
Right.
curious how it's going to go. Notice how everybody else is like not focused, and then she's looking right into the camera.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
noticed
like
that
they're all like,
immediately. I was like, oh,
they're all like having a good time, laughing at the dude, and she's like right into the camera. Nothing. I don't have any criticism on it. I just think it's funny that everybody else seems to be kind of chill, and she's like right to the camera.
Oh no.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? You nervous?
A little bit.
Not used to the attention?
I don't actually have any necessarily criticisms about what he said. I just wanted to make a note that, you know, I think not that it's the biggest deal ever, but I do appreciate the fact he was honest there. He's like, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, you know.
I mean,
because it's similar to being up there with stage fright. Like it's same
yeah,
kind of.
I mean, shit, I know damn well I'd be anxious as hell. I'm not going to pretend otherwise.
You're about to have 8 women judge you.
Right. I mean, hell, it's
So
bad
it's
enough just standing in front of anybody, right? But just
it's bad enough with one woman. You know, I'm sure that there's some.
Oh my
you got
lord.
8 women. So anyway.
Not really.
Okay, so
it'd be hard to pop the glass open.
hold on.
I
hold
had
on.
that feeling.
When you see that she's the one, and notice how they for copyright reasons,
Yeah,
they
they blocked on the brand.
Yeah, they taped over the brand and marked over it. But anyway, she, you know, if you're the person, this is just a observation and a theory. I'm not saying it proves anything, just a theory. I'd say that out of everyone, she's the biggest party girl there, since she was the one that went right
That's
to
the
pop,
first thing I thought too.
because she went right to pop the wine bottle. Like, look at that. And she's got the leather pants too. Look, she's got the, see what I mean?
I
She's got
like
those-
it. I like it. I like the pants. Alita vibes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Are you a drinker? You like to party?
Sometimes I travel a lot. I do.
Do you think that question was out of curiosity or concern?
Oh,
Are you a drinker? Do you like to party? Do you think that's curiosity or concern?
probably. I'm gonna guess curiosity. I don't know.
Modeling. They take me places, so I'm here to do some shoots.
That's awesome. Do you have like a model face that you do?
To be honest, I do not. There isn't one. Most of it is just like you're talking, and then they just take pictures while you're doing stuff.
Or like a natural style? Do they make you model shirtless?
See, the thing is, when you audition for stuff, most of the time you can't have a shirt on.
Can we get a preview?
Oh boy.
Okay, can I just say that I find this incredible? I'm not going to say that. No, and I will say this. If this was one woman and like 8 guys, and one of them said, "Can we get a preview?" that would have been cut from the episode.
Yeah.
That would not have been shown. But it's what the woman says, "Can we see you without your shirt on?" It's like I know it's meant as like a playful joke thing, but come on, it gets double standard here. You know,
There
that
is.
if a guy had said that, he would be like, there would be the girl would look at him in a certain way, and then there would be some judgy kind of atmosphere about it, and they'd probably
They
also
get awkward so fast. Oh
they
my
would probably cut that out of the episode as well. Like, here, I want to see you in your bra, right? Like, there's a social stigma to that, right? But women are like, let me see you with your shirt off. It's like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
We get a preview.
Listen, I got you guys later, okay?
Oh,
Don't worry about it.
So being a model, like, do you date a lot, or like what's
Nah.
your track record?
He said no.
No, I would love to have a girlfriend though.
Is she in this room?
I actually think
That's
that's a
very
good,
blunt.
I think that's actually a good question. That's showing, like, that's getting the person, if your goal, let's say one of these women actually care whether they can get a date with this guy by the end of this thing. I guess that's a good way to get a guy's attention, is being like, oh, do you think that there's a girlfriend for you in this room? Right? Like just getting that out of the
blunt.
Yeah, I mean it's direct. You got. I give her points for being direct.
I'll be honest with you. This is just like a little note. I hate it when people can't just get right to the point. I mean, yeah, I know I can like trail off too. Like I'm not going to act like I don't. Like it.
People watching the stream have been wondering why we haven't gotten to the point.
Right. Right. But no, I actually much prefer like communication, just sheer bluntness. Seriously, like it can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well,
Anyway, continue, Dodd.
Yep. Here we go.
Girlfriends in my life. All of them have been long-ish term. So like 2 years.
Yeah, what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Libra.
Okay. That's that right there.
That question.
Immediate pause, immediate red flag. Okay. I'm gonna go into a little something, and if anybody's been paying attention, there's an Easter egg because I've had a little zodiac tab up here hiding up in the corner the whole time, and that's because I've been waiting for this exact part in this video to go on this little rant. Okay. I'm just gonna say this. I don't have again, I always say this to preface it with this, because what I say seems harsh, like I want to make it clear. I don't have a personal animosity toward anybody that's into like, astrological signs or zodiac signs or whatever. But in my own opinion, if you are somebody, and let's just go with a girl. If you're a girl and you're on the dating scene, you're looking for a guy, right? And if one of the first questions out of your mouth to a guy that potentially could be boyfriend material or whatever you're on a date is, what's your zodiac sign? It's like, first off, a red flag should go off in the guy's head and say, okay, the fact that she cares enough about zodiac signs to actually ask the question. Now, they might be like, oh, I was just using it as a conversation tool. You can literally use anything else as a conversation tool. You don't have to bring it. If you bring it up, it's because you actually want the answer. It's like you actually care.
I've seen that too. I've seen a lot of that.
There's a lot of people that have it convinced in their head that you can find your soulmate by figuring out like which boyfriend closely aligns to a quote zodiac sign that you approve of, right?
No.
Here's the thing. I'm going to show you the flaw in the zodiac system by using the zodiac system. So here is all of the character traits associated with each single zodiac, right? So you're going to notice that what
Aries,
they do is sorry, what?
I'm an Aries, in case you're curious.
I'm at the point where until I looked at this right now, I didn't even know what I was, and I didn't care. I never cared to look. Never cared. But the flaw with the zodiac thing is they literally look how many character traits they list for each month. So the human emotional spectrum only stretches so far. Character traits only stretch so far.
Hold on, can I read that 1 second? Aries.
What?
I was just looking at the description of Aries: adventurous, energetic. Yeah.
Right. So when you look at Aries, for instance, adventurous, energetic, pioneering, courageous, enthusiastic, confident, dynamic, quick-witted, selfish, quick-tempered, impulsive, impatient, foolhardy, daredevil. These are traits that literally any freaking human being could have.
Yeah.
Like every month of the year that has a corresponding zodiac sign, they're all traits that anyone can have. Ergo, you meet 4 people. Let's say they're all let's pick one. I won't say Cancer because I could make a great joke out of that. Not a bad joke. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like I could make a good joke out of that. Gemini. Yeah, okay, so I've heard some stories about people be like, yeah, like some women have had things about guys that are Gemini. Let's say you've met 4 out of 4 people and they're quote Geminis. So a Gemini is, according to this, adaptable and versatile, communicative and witty, intellectual, eloquent, youthful, lively, nervous, intense, superficial, inconsistent, cunning, and inquisitive. Again, traits that literally any human being could have. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not proving that this person is like fits into a category, because any human being born in any month could have these traits. So it's basically, zodiac signs are a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if you're someone that actually takes stock in these kind of things and you go over to a situation like this where somebody asks you a question, what's your zodiac sign, right? They want to try to nail down who they think you are based off your zodiac sign. If they don't know off the top of their head what all the personality traits are, they'll go home that night. They'll look it up. They'll be like, okay, so he's like this. And if they've dated anyone they've had a bad relationship with that has any of those traits, they'll be like, okay, he's probably going to be like this. So maybe I give it a few more dates, maybe not. I don't know. And then boom.
No wonder things are so screwed up these days.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this is a system where, in my opinion, I feel like it allows whether it's a male or a female, doesn't matter. A person who is in the process of trying to start up a relationship, it allows them to create a system where they can justify any reason why they don't want to be a part of that relationship. Again, whether you're male or female, it's like, oh, well, I know this isn't going to work and I have proof because your personality traits correspond to this, you know? And it's like, it's all gobbledygook because anyone born in any month could have any of these traits because there's only so many traits and emotions a certain any given individual can have. So that was my point.
Jeez.
My rant is over now, but I'm very glad I got that.
No, I'm with you on that. I hate the whole like what's your sign thing.
That being said, if you're someone who's in the zodiac, keep doing what you want to do. I'm just stating my opinion. I'm not stating whether it's morally wrong or morally right. I'm just stating my own opinion on it.
What does that mean?
They said they were really nice. They also say we're indecisive. It's also kind of true.
Well, we're gonna decide for you.
Yeah, that's literally perfect.
Well, that's why it works for today. Yeah.
She is very quick-witted. I'll give her that. Like, she's good to snap on. She hears something, she snaps onto it real quick. That's so she's pretty quick-witted. And of course, I'm sure that one of these other people would be like, okay, what zodiac is she? Let's see. Oh, she's Aries. She must be an Aries because she's quick-witted. Except, whatever.
I don't have to decide anything for real.
So is there anything you're looking for in particular?
Like, describe your type.
Okay, not to be cliche. Physically, I don't really have a type. But
That's a lie.
I swear, I promise you. There's 3 things I look for though. Hair, lips, and eyes.
Probably not the answer they were expecting.
I really want to say that I want to believe this dude, but because of human nature, I'm like, you're lying through your teeth, dude. You might be more open-minded, but deep down, every guy kind of has some kind of preference. Whether or not that means you'll date outside the preference is another thing entirely. But every guy has a preference, and it's the same thing. Every woman has a preference. Every guy has a preference. It just is what it is.
Okay. Classic body parts.
But it's like everyone has those. So it's like
But something in there, nice lips, nice.
Right. And you guys have tattoos?
Yeah. I do tattoos though. Would you let me tattoo you? Would you let me
Actually,
tattoo?
definitely would.
Let me tattoo
an E
on you.
Where would you put it?
Wherever you want. I don't know.
Wherever you want. I don't know. That's a safe answer. I felt like she had momentum until she said that. Like,
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Like, it feels like kind of a blasé answer, but not the biggest deal in the world.
Controversial opinion.
Okay, so she asked, "What is his controversial opinion?" I think he plays it safe here, and he doesn't. Okay, a hot take is not always a controversial opinion. So if somebody legit asked you a controversial opinion, it'd be like something about life, something about relationships, romance, something about politics. These are things that lead to controversial opinions. But he's going to do a hot take that has to do with like a celebrity. So I think he's playing it safe and being like, I probably don't want to share what my real.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I get myself in trouble.
I think that people hype Zendaya up too much.
What? I agree with him there.
Someone who agrees.
I agree with him there. I'm all there. I do think that Zendaya is overhyped a bit. I don't have anything against her. I just don't think she is not nearly as good an actress as people give her credit for. They're like a fountain.
The only thing I like her in is Euphoria, and I'm not even that far into that show.
There is a mountain of other actresses that can play her parts
easily.
Yeah, that's not like she is uniquely good at them to the point where I never watch a role she's in and be like, nobody else could have played that. I've never. Right. When I first heard of Zendaya, I just remember her being a singer.
I remember she was.
She. I might have one of her songs actually on my own
Rewrite
iPod.
the Stars.
No, I don't know what that song is, but
The Greatest Showman.
oh, okay.
It's from a movie actually, but she still sings.
Didn't know
That
you
is
didn't
offensive.
know you.
Nah, she's great. She's phenomenal. People put her on such a high pedestal. I'm like,
Do you not think she's attractive?
she's cute.
Okay. Okay. What do you think is your biggest?
She's for me. Like she's. I'm not saying I'm not trying to like get into the whole appearance thing, but people act like she's a goddess, and I'm like, she's, it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say. So in my instance, she's an
Red flag. Oh yeah.
Red flag. Okay, it's when someone's rude to waiters and waitresses.
Yeah.
Super turn on.
Yeah. But I kind of want to know what everyone's red flag is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lying for no reason.
Having a big ego. Like if you're always right, there's something wrong.
You mean when you think that you're always right?
Communication. I don't like controlling. Not like owning up their mistakes. Definitely commitment issues.
Kind of like ego. Wait, what's your ideal?
Okay, so can I just say
that's a lot.
Watch this. Watch this.
Definitely commitment issues.
When she says this, she looks right to the camera.
I know, right?
She looks right to the camera. She is aiming those daggers back at somebody in her past when she says this.
Oh yeah, you can.
She's like
The vengeance
definitely
is real with
commitment
this one.
issues, and she's thinking about someone, and she's looking right into the camera, and she
In case you
memorized
ever
where that
see
camera
this, you
was.
son of a
Too.
bitch. I love
Oh my gosh!
it. Go ahead.
Look at that. That look right there, that look is a red flag to me. That's somebody who holds a grudge right there.
She's like, I'm gonna get you.
See this look and tell me it doesn't appear to have a grudge behind it.
Yeah, or at the very least, some bitter feelings.
Yeah, there's a bitterness there,
There's a hurt there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's like
She's like, yeah, she's over here
got
like, I hope you
baggage.
see this,
There's baggage up here in the noggin somewhere, and maybe a little bit down here in the heart.
She's looking at somebody thinking, yeah, I hope you see this one day.
Like I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
Kind of like ego. Wait, what's your ideal type personality wise?
I do like to have fun. I like to be the quiet half.
Like you like to be there, but not being too like.
I like to be like mix adjacent.
Well, I feel like we need to decide if our ideal type aligns with his.
Oh, I was gonna say, what's your love language? What do you
Here we go. That's pretty interesting.
I've noticed that because there's a lot of people who I don't want touching me, and so if I want you touching me, it's
love languages. How about this?
What was his? What was
his? Was physical touch.
Of course it is. He's a fucking guy. That's gonna be the answer to everything. God.
Okay.
There actually is.
Here's all you need to know. Go ahead, John, real quick before I go on my rant.
There actually is a thing to that. It's not just some people, even with guys, it's not just one or the other. There's a really interesting book. I can't remember the name of the guy who wrote it, but it talks about those languages, and there is some interesting stuff. Actually, I would say more, but my brain's like,
Well,
but usually, a lot of dudes are going to say physical touch for obvious reasons.
If women are trying to figure out like the secrets to a man, if you don't already know, you've already lost. Like it's pretty. Men are very, 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 very simple. Like we're not complicated. We're not.
At least with stuff like that.
With relationships, with girlfriends and stuff like that. It's like, I mean, when I was in college, I saw so many like over exaggerating like qualities and character, like people literally putting on almost puppet shows trying to like they would be one person in front of their significant other and then another person behind their back, and it's like, okay,
quality time's a big one though.
I don't even want to go down that road. There's just so many loopholes down that road. Anyway,
like
it's a deep rabbit hole.
Extra service, I do like when it seems like someone's thinking about you, and so they do something just thoughtful.
Oh, great, we got an ad.
That's really nice.
Oh, really? Oh,
there's probably a song in that I can't play, so I went ahead and muted it.
Okay, so does anybody want to be?
All right, so you can see this, John, right here. It says they have to eliminate, so they have to vote on the two.
Eliminate two people from the oh shit.
Like, want to stay?
I'm having fun. I'm definitely having fun. Cool. I think
I really like her with the black top and the blue jeans. I don't.
Which one? Which one? This one?
The one on the right. Yeah.
But what is it? You think she's more kind of kind-hearted, sweet, or
yeah.
what is it?
Like I don't even really know how to place it. Actually, it's not just the looks, though. I mean, well, there's that too, but
of course it is.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm not going to sit here and deny it.
So, do you think it's because she feels more like a reserved nature about her? Is that what you're? Is that
I
the
kind
vibe
of
you're
wonder if she's actually going to end up being the person that he ends up like. I mean, I don't know how these videos end, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
I for anybody who's watching this and doesn't know, I watch these videos ahead of time, but John does not. I like to surprise him.
Yeah,
with
I've
these.
never seen.
Yeah, like
I've
because
never heard of these.
you know. Well, anyway,
Go ahead.
it's fun to break down these videos with him. It really is. It's a ton of fun. But speaking of fun, John, are you enjoying these 2 videos so far?
So far, yeah. The cringe one actually was a little painful, but I mean,
it was.
It makes me. You know what I think when I watch that video? I just think Twitter.
Yeah.
Or TikTok. It's honestly what it reminds me of.
One of these days, we're gonna have to do a TikTok compilation video.
No, God, please spare me.
just so I can hear you exert pain through your voice while we're watching it, just to hear that pain. All right, here we go.
So who like absolutely does not want to stay? Just right to it.
Okay, we do it. I like someone who's a bit more outgoing.
Yeah.
I think I kind of want the guy to lead, like the whole
social.
atmosphere and all that.
Do you guys feel like he's funny?
No.
They're like, no. Okay, so
no.
For all we know, he could be someone who's actually not funny. But I'm just going to say this: most of the time, the things that make a guy funny, he cannot do or say in front of women.
Yeah.
So guys' humor is called guys' humor for a reason. It's not. It's not just a stereotype. It's a literal fact. When the guys get together and then they joke about all sorts of different things. It's just a reality. It just is the way the world is.
It's just different. I mean,
you can't. There are things that you cannot say because of not just society, but out of good manners. You don't joke about certain things with women because they don't like it. Maybe some of them do. Maybe I guess I've definitely met at least one.
I've known a few.
I've known at least 1 or 2. But like, if John, if anyone in our friend group got into a room with these girls, do you think we could joke about some of the stuff we joke about when we're playing Hunt?
Shit, we'd be fucked.
and just so anybody's watching, we're not talking about like anything like we're not talking about like racial stuff or anything like that. Just like kind of like I guess potty humor stuff.
We just
like
weird
what I would even call low tier jokes that aren't even quote edgy. You know what I mean?
It's just weird, just off the wall humor.
There's a difference of humor, and
actually, most of our humor is kind of like something that's only understood in the group. Most of the time.
Yeah, well, most of our humor is actually inside jokes, so that's the other thing.
Exactly,
too.
Dad.
Yeah, the dad.
Yeah, we won't bore anyone with what that's about.
Everybody who's watching this that just heard the dad thing is like, what are they talking about?
They're probably weirded out now.
Exactly. The joke is an inside joke. You have to be in our friend group to get that joke. But it's
we'd be toast.
Guys love inside jokes. They love jokes that only the group gets.
And I've seen this on dating sites and stuff where they'll be like be funny or something. It's like send me your best one-liner. I'm just kind of sitting here thinking it feels so forced. I've been told this by my mother and many other people that I am not like my humor. I know my humor is dry. Like I'm not even gonna deny it. Like as far as I'm not the type to just come up with something on a whim. It's when shit just happens and I respond to it. It's off the wall.
That's partly me, but I would also say my main type of humor is like old-fashioned humor, kind of like the types of jokes you would hear in like now they'd probably be considered G movies now, but like the older what society in the 40s and 50s would have considered like PG movies. Slightly like what was considered adult humor back then. Marx Brothers. Like if you've ever watched a Marx Brothers movie, I guarantee you there's probably like 90% of the people have no idea who the Marx Brothers are. But
I don't.
Dude, Duck Soup, Horse Feathers, Monkey Business, three of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Duck Soup.
I laugh yes, that's the name. One of the movies is called Duck Soup, another one's called Horse Feathers, and the other one's called Monkey Business. Those three movies starring the Marx Brothers. Groucho, Chico, Harpo, Marx, and I want to say, was it Zeppo? Not Zeppo. I forgot the
You would know this though.
Yeah, this is old school. These are all 1930s, but their humor was even back then it was ahead of its time because they joked about stuff that was kind of taboo at the time. You know, it was considered risque and raunchy, but now you'd find it in PG movies.
Oh, humor nowadays is just like nasty business.
There's actually a joke about bigamy in a 1930s movie about the Marx Brothers, and they're like there's a joke where a dude's going up to a woman, I think it's Groucho Marx, and he says, he's saying to this woman, why don't we get married? And she's like, I'm already married. He goes, oh, well, who cares? She's like, that's bigamy. He goes, well, that's bigamy too. It's big of everybody, you know? And it's slapstick. It's silly humor. You know, it's like wordplay. Like they're playing with word. The Marx Brothers were notorious for wordplay jokes. Like they would play with words. Like there was a joke about dollars and taxes. And they said, hey, that's where I live, or that's where my relative lived. Dollars taxes. Yeah, I love wordplay humor. But if
you're a pun guy.
Well, they're not really puns, but you'd have to watch the movies to get. I mean, technically, I like some puns, but I'm not a big pun guy myself. I just like humor that is clever, requires you to think about what the meaning behind it is. If I tried to actually get into jokes I really like that are more old school like that, a lot of these girls would be like, I guess it's funny. I mean, you know, like that's the response I would get. So yeah, you wouldn't think it's funny, but doesn't mean this guy's not funny. His sense of humor might just be different than theirs.
And people like tell me a good joke. It's like, and it's plus I don't like being put on the spot. That's the other thing. Like,
well, that look right there is a look that's telling me that I'm taking too long, and she's scolding me for it. You know, so.
It's funny he would have made us laugh in that time.
You're right.
I'm just saying.
I feel like he's probably just shy.
Probably though, yeah,
it's pretty intimidating.
Considerate.
I mean, I appreciated how he said he's adventurous.
Yeah, oh, that is.
I think he travels.
Oh my goodness.
Are we allowed to vote ourselves out?
You are allowed to put yourself out.
Oh, sheesh. I was just asking.
I just realized we're taking a long time on this video.
Yeah, we are.
I didn't think we'd have this much to say.
Talking about women, man, we could talk for a long time.
So the girls eliminated this round are Kristen and Cassie.
What?
Didn't see that one coming. Did
you? Damn. All right then, I guess.
Hey.
I'm Zonde. I'm Jasmine. Alondra. Ellen.
Kennedy.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little shy.
I'm a little shy too. You probably can't tell. The first thing I noticed about you is I like your outfit.
Oh, thank you. I chose it because it was a bit of a power move.
You play guitar.
Yeah, I play piano more though.
No comment. I was going to say something, and I'm like, no comment, because I don't think.
Paused it just like in the most weird.
What? Because he's closing his eyes?
That's how I look right now. I'm just like, oh Lord.
It is.
So you're good with your hands.
I would say so.
Okay.
I'm not going to comment.
When you said you're adventurous, that's like something.
Okay. Can I just say that I'm going to replay this clip only because remember, this is a girl saying this. This is not a guy making this joke. It's a girl making this joke.
I play piano more though.
Piano's hard.
It is.
So you're good with your hands.
I would say so.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Do you like to travel?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's no ulterior motive to her bringing that up whatsoever. There's no ulterior
was really on the nose, man.
Do you love to travel? When you said you're adventurous, that's like something I really look for in a person.
You know, I was thinking about it before when you said tattooing an E.
You would be down?
Yeah, it would have to be on my face. Like right here. I don't know. I just feel like for it to really be meaningful,
yeah,
it would have to be on my face.
Okay,
wait. Okay, in your opinion, John, do you think she's wearing makeup? Yes or no?
No.
I could be wrong, but I don't think she is. And this is not I'm not trying to do. I'm not doing a thing where I'm playing favorites or anything. But I've always thought that like if you look cute or good without makeup, that's better than wearing a lot of makeup.
Oh yeah.
So like I've always been one for I like
natural beauty.
Yeah, I'm more for like natural beauty over putting makeup on, because I think makeup kind of it's kind of like this artificial thing. Like it's not the real
It's
you.
not just that.
It's not the real you.
fact that stuff is so. That's a whole other combo that I'm about to bring up, but it's also that stuff is so toxic. Like I mean, like not to get all like, oh well, is that for you? But really though,
I was just checking
a lot
to
of
make
that stuff
sure.
is actually really, really toxic.
I was just checking to make sure that we didn't have any more comments, because I was like, oh, I hope I'm not missing anything. So we can go back now. All right, here we go.
Beauty all day.
Oh, I feel like that shows you're a
Right.
committed person. Should I get like a Mars
Yeah, get a print.
on my face as well?
Nice, get it right there.
What's your thing that's like really embarrassing for you? For me, I don't like falling in public.
You know, it's gonna sound kind of weird. I don't really get embarrassed.
Oh wow.
Like if I were to fall, I would just laugh at myself.
Like,
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way with stuff like that.
I'd just be like, eh.
What's your ring?
It is a chrome hearts ring.
Can I try it on? Okay, yeah, you have a big finger.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
fingers are kind of thick. Not gonna lie.
Do you like to work out?
See, that's an interesting question. Do I like to work out?
Or do you have to work out?
I have
he's
to,
honest though.
but at this point, it's kind of like a habit. I do like feeling sore though. If that, you know.
What?
So how'd you get your name? Did you like make it up yourself?
Do you think I did?
I think your friends did.
Okay, I'm actually not gonna tell you.
Why?
Because it's a good secret. Now I have something to talk about.
Okay, I'm
This is
not gonna
weird.
like I'm not gonna say like which one of these girls he ends up with by the end of the video, but is it just me or does it feel like he's flirting with this one?
Yeah.
Like
I've been getting that feeling for a while.
I think he actually is flirting with this girl right here. Like he's actually like doing like little games where he's like, wait, do you think this? Do you think that? Oh, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to wait till later. Well, what do you mean wait till later? You know, like, like there's no later if you're not going to like planning to actually make a later situation.
Right. Yeah. Bingo,
So he's playing it cool. I'll give him credit for that. He's thinking ahead.
I'm actually not going to tell you.
Why?
Because it's a good secret. Now I have something to talk about.
I'm from Atlanta.
I go to Morehouse.
No way. Are
Yeah.
you kidding? Do you like it?
It's cool.
Better than like New York and
Oh no. New York is the best city on earth.
Oh,
LA
hell no.
is a close second.
That's an opinion. Yeah.
It is an opinion, but it's
As an opinion, I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
so he goes, I love New York, and he goes, a close second is LA. So the two most trash heap cities
I know
that I can think of in the United States. And I'm not trying to disrespect New York or LA, but those cities have gone
to shambles.
That's a nice way of saying it. I was going to say something else. They have gone to the gutter in like the last.
Oh, I was going to say something else too, but
the last 2 decades is what I would say. The last 2 decades, New York, and I'll just say this. I'm not going to go into the context, but I did go to New York within the last 10 years, and I remember what I thought it was supposed to look like, and when I got there, what it actually looked like. So, and there's a funny story that I might save for another day. Suffice to say, I missed a bus and I had to walk all around downtown New York City to go back to my hotel. And I'll just leave it at that. But I saw a lot of New York. Granted, it was at night, but I still saw a lot of New York. And a lot of it it's not aging well as a city. Let's just put it like that. And now maybe he's into shopping, and there's a ton of shops in New York. There's a lot of places to go eat and buy things. So if you're into the dining experience and the shopping experience, New York City is great. But in terms of the state of New York, I'd rather go up north where it's more country, more northern kind of smaller towns kind of thing, more country vibe. Suburban community kind of things, not the dense packed city of New York City, which it's a place I've been to and I wouldn't mind visiting once or twice before I die again, but like not die again, visit again before I die. But I would never, ever, 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 ever want to live in New York City. I'll just put it like that. After having been there once, I couldn't. It's you got to have a particular type of personality to enjoy living in New York City.
It's the strong one I have.
I'm really into like fashion. I got this from the flea market.
It's nice. But I do like fashion. It's the first thing you see. So I feel like you can tell a lot about their personality based off how they dress.
What can you tell about my personality? Oh God.
You seem like you're fun.
And what gives you that impression?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's like the whole thing.
What are your biggest fears?
I would probably say being alone.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because I'm kind of sort of a homebody, but I'm also really not. But I'd rather be a homebody, not by myself.
Completely get you. Like I like.
When he finished that sentence, he turned and looked right at her.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd rather be like a homebody, but not by myself. He looks right at her, dude.
Like watching Netflix and like chilling, but with a boo would be great.
That's literally telling you.
Oh.
It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Wait a second. Can I just say that, like, no, I'm not. I don't care, and I don't.
Yeah, weird.
Literally telling you.
Oh.
It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hi again.
I think Jasmine is his bae.
For real? For real. Dude, he asked you questions.
You sat down and he was like, so.
He had him ready for you.
I think that he got along with you too.
Like you were making him nervous, but also like Alondra.
Yeah, you guys have like really good going, like with the flea market and all that stuff. Yeah.
I get eaten alive at one of these.
I just do it if it isn't, if you get paid for it, I just do it for the paycheck. Like I wouldn't even care too much about it.
Do you feel like they maybe made a good choice? Are you nervous?
A little bit. I feel like the choice must have been good, to be honest.
1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Oh, what was that? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Did you expect me?
Did I expect you? Low key.
Low key.
Low key. Did you expect to be here?
It was nervous, but maybe the suit did something.
Mark, I'm gonna hand you this,
Oh, that's hilarious.
and I'm gonna have you reveal who you were selecting for yourself after round 2 and round 3.
Well, for round 2, I had Jasmine, Ellen, and Azalea.
Oh shit. Yeah.
For the last one, I had
her face.
Look at that face right there.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
know.
You know what's funny about this face is that face is like almost like she actually cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she actually wanted to be picked. Like I think she might put on a little act like, I didn't really care that much, or maybe I don't know, or I didn't think I'd win. But I think she actually like kind of finds him. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think this look of like, oh, is it me, or did he pick someone else? Does he not like me? You know, that's that look right there.
Yeah, I think so.
Jasmine.
Did you see? Look at her when he reveals it real quick. Like look at this like look.
Jasmine.
She's like, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, like, oh, it was me.
That's funny. What are the odds?
I thought you didn't pick me, so I was like, are you gonna tell me what your name means?
We were right. Hey.
Yeah. I'm going on a date. I got you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
You see that? He says, I'll tell you what my name means if you go on a date.
Nice.
Well played, sir. Well played. And she seems to be interested as well. So if this indeed is not just for show and they really did go on a date afterward, kudos to them for playing the game well. But just as all good things must come to an end, this stream must come to an end because we've gone 30 or 40 minutes past where we were supposed to be.
Yeah, I know.
Like we were supposed to be done with this almost an hour ago.
This is an interesting video. I don't think I could ever imagine myself being put in that situation, but that's just me.
Oh, dude! Like one of the reasons why I love showing you these videos, John, is we get to talk about some news stuff, we get to talk about entertainment, we get to talk about some things, but then it's just fun to kick back and look at some cringe or just some kind of crazy videos. And
I would say that one was just more wholesome, I guess.
Yeah, in a way it was. There were moments in there. The Zodiac thing was the cringe part. I really was focusing in on. Like
I can't remember who asked that.
Where she's like out of the blue of all the questions you could ask, you're like, "What's your zodiac sign?" You know, like that. That was so. Yeah, it's that video to me was like it was better than some of the other ones I've seen on there. Like there's some that are like kind of painful to watch, to be honest with you. That I told you that was more of a somewhat of a palate cleanser compared to the social media influencer.
Oh
videos
yeah,
I
that
watched.
was absolutely no.
I tortured you with that one, didn't I?
That's just pain.
Okay, so now
They were actually intelligent in that second video.
yes, actual human
But
intelligence.
they're
was
also
displayed.
older too. I'll note.
Well, some of them might have been the same age. Some of them might have been older. We don't know.
I think for the most part,
You know what they say? Never mention a woman's age. So,
well,
let's.
I mean, just in general, like everybody. Well, then again, most of them were women, so guess you got a good point. But still.
Yeah, it was 8-1, so that the ratio is in my favor with that one. But anyway, so as with anything, I got to do some housekeeping at the end of the stream here, which is that so if anyone's actually watched this far, this long, we have. Well, I have a video that I've been teasing on and off for. It's got to be 4 or more weeks now. It's a huge one that is still in production. It has a big video. It's going to be almost like a full-length documentary by the time it's done. Like it is massive, and I've never done a video this big before. But it's a special one. I have some guests that came in to help me out with it, and it's a lot of work to it. And if this is your reward for anybody who watched the 2 hours to get to this point. Your reward is it's a video that has to do with something about Dragon Ball. And that's all I'm going to say. So you guys get the first little hint as to what it is if you actually made it this far. What's funny is there was a person watching this that just left watching right before I got to the part where I revealed it. So if they were interested in what videos are coming, they just missed out on a teaser.
It's probably our mutual friend.
I don't know. Might be, might not have been. But nevertheless, and I've got another video in the works as well. It is not Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy related, but I am trying to work toward getting another one of those ready to go. I take pride in trying to release videos I care about. So I try to be picky with the topics that I cover and only talk about stuff I actually feel like I have something to say about. So then the next short video I've got coming up, believe it or not, it's kind of about Batman. So
I need to finish that movie, actually.
Oh, no, not the movie, the Batman, just the character.
Oh, well.
Although it does talk about all of the Batman movies in it, and that's all I'll say on that. So, John, anything you want to say before we sign off here and play our outro and say goodnight?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. It's 2 hours. It's long. I know it's long. If you watched this far, you are a saint. Thank you so much. And if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And if you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing. I do regular videos. Me and John do this live stream to the extreme about every 2 weeks or so. Gives us time to kind of like find some worthy stuff to talk about. And cringe, yes, and cringe. But anyway, thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great day.